I wanted to write about time because I felt like there were these kind of separate strands of attitudes toward time that felt really painful to me. This feeling of always racing against the clock, and also the need to feel productive all the time. But there's also things like feeling dread about climate change, and then on top of that, mortality and the knowledge that your life is going to end. And all of these things to me feel very painful. I wasn't sure how they were related, so I was kind of setting out to find that relationship. I'm Jenny Odell, and I'm the author of Saving Time. Saving Time is about different ways of seeing time and sort of my attempt to find a relationship to time that is not painful. If you're used to it, it can definitely be a challenge to silence the inner time master when you're using that kind of punitive time frame and you want to have like the highest output. But what happens if you're trying to gear your experience and your structure of time towards meaning? I went on a walk with the poet John Shoptaw. We were bird watching, and we got back to the bus stop, and he said, I think that was one moment. That whole experience was one moment. So, it's like, what happens when you think about time that way? I think what most people want is meaning. When you realize that that's how maybe you want to structure your life, the time master with the clock and the spreadsheet really doesn't make as much sense. For me, being in nature or just going on a walk around my neighborhood even, it reminds you in a very concrete way of other signatures of time that aren't the clock and the calendar and how real those are. I talk in the book about a California Buckeye tree, which has a kind of very specific schedule. It goes dormant for a large part of the year, and then the buds that have been there kind of all winter start opening up, and then there's flowers, and then it goes dormant again. And it really shows you how kind of nonlinear it is. Like, once things start happening with that tree, they really start happening very quickly. Realizing that from the tree's point of view, that is time. The tree doesn't care what day it is. It's not going to, open on February 10th. I think just putting yourself in the proximity to that is a really incredible reminder of that. I have several friends in their 70s. I find that, talking to someone who's twice your age will certainly make you aware of kind of where you are in your life. So it is making you think about the end of your life. But the conclusion that you come to, and that they want you to come to, is that you should just be trying to fully experience everything. That's the end goal. You do want to kind of look to the end of your life and maybe make some strategic decisions, but every time, I talk to them, I always kind of come back almost wanting to grasp onto the present more strongly. And it's not a fearful grasp. It's a loving, curious, fascinated feeling of interest, wanting to be close to something and really hold on to it and not be so sort of caught up in worrying about the returns on my time later on that I can't even see what's right in front of me.